Ladies and gentlemen, we are ready for the second half of the 2031 season here on MLB 26's Road to the Show, starring yours truly, Action for Jesus, originally known as Action Jackson Wilson. This is Ladder of Light Gaming, bringing this presentation to you as usual on behalf of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, who loves you guys very much. I don't care who you are or what you've been through. If you've yet to give your lives to Him, I pray that you do so now. He is the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through Him. If you depart from this earth without Christ, you're going to hell. You're going to be condemned. But God does not want that for you guys. Repent. The kingdom of heaven is at hand. Choose Jesus, turn to Christ, and your life will be changed for all eternity in the best way. Jackson Wilson ready to go, coming off his first ever All-Star Game appearance. He's represented the Miami Marlins in the 2031 All-Star Game. The National League fell short, but Wilson was able to get through a full inning. And now here he is back to the regular season docket, trying to get the Marlins back in the thick of things in terms of contending for a wild card spot. Wilson was 26 for 30 in save opportunities entering the All-Star break. He enters this game with a 2-run lead in the bottom of the 10th, and there is a wild pitch that will allow the ghost runner to move up a bag. The tying run is at the plate for Milwaukee in this road contest featuring the Marlins and the Brewers. Wilson certainly didn't want to start out in that fashion, but see what he does here. Jackson versus Jackson. Who wins? Churio takes a fastball inside. It's 2-0. This is GOAT difficulty. MLB 26 Road to the Show. Wilson's fourth full season in the league. He was called up in the middle of 2027 from AAA Jacksonville, and he hasn't looked back since. Here's a 2-0 pitch ripped up the middle for a single. An unearned run will score to cut this to a 3-2 game. So this blown save, which was a rare occurrence for Jackson Wilson, is certainly alive here in this game tonight. It was 3-1 in the bottom of this 10th when Wilson came onto the hill, threw a wild pitch, and then gives up an RBI single to Jackson Churio. The tying run is on, and now here is Taylor Ward, who has 18 home runs and 56 RBIs. He could end this game with one swing of the bat, and now the catcher Bailey will come out and have a word with Wilson. Limit the damage. Let's get out of here with a win. Wilson, ready with a first pitch cutter. Here it comes. Lifted down the right field line off the bat of Taylor Ward, and it's going to go into the seats. Foul. Strike one. Can Wilson clutch up for his team yet again? The Marlins started out as the worst team in all of baseball in the first 2 months, but they heated up in June. They had a winning streak entering the All-Star break. Now they're just 5 games under 500. Wilson trying to get them closer. That'll help. There's a swing and a miss on a very effective breaking pitch. 1-2 the count to Taylor Ward. Wilson's going to stay down in the zone with this changeup. Here it comes. Downstairs and below the knees, 2-2. Thank you guys once again for tuning in to Ladder of Light Gaming. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you have yet to do so. And enjoy the show. The pitch. On the ground to first. This could be 2. And it's going to be the all-familiar twin killing initiated by Jackson Wilson. A 3-6-3, perfectly turned by the Gold Glover Matt Olson, the newest acquisition for the Miami Marlins, making it look easy. 3-6-3. Now it comes down to a one-on-one battle between Wilson and Carson Williams. Wilson looking for save number 27. That's taken inside for ball one. Wilson's career high is 35. Which he has totaled in each of the last 2 seasons. At 15 in 2027 and 31 as a rookie. The pitch. Changeup floats over the outside corner. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Carson Williams at the dish for the Brewers, trailing 3-2 in the bottom of the 10th. The pitch. Slider. Back to the mound. Wilson with a clean stab and the assist. Marlins win it. The Fish continue to swim upstream as they open the second half of the season on a victorious note. Wilson, 27 for 31 in save opportunities. Wilson was named an All-Star, and he continues to pitch like one. Don't sleep on the Marlins, folks. I can't believe I'm saying that. 6 games under 500 at 46, or rather 46 and 52. And we're not even in last place. We're sitting right in the middle of the National League East. Certainly not complaining about that. Very impressive ERA for Wilson at 3.21. Much lower than his previous seasons, which were hovering around 5 to 7. But this is what hard work will do. It's paying off for Wilson and leading to better execution. He's now up to 143 saves throughout his young career. His ERA, which was above 6 entering this season for his career, is now in the 5s. It continues to drop. The Brewers are actually one of the teams holding on to a wild card spot. All of a sudden, the Marlins are looking to not only take multiple games, but sweep them out of their own ballpark here in Milwaukee. Wilson with a 3-run lead to work with, but he can't get too comfortable. He goes first pitch slider and has the hitter off balance. 1 pitch, 1 out. That's a joy to see for Marlin fans. Wilson not only executing his pitches, pounding the zone, but he's getting outs, whether it's his defense backing him up. He's picking up some occasional Ks. Jesus Made. Brewers looking to rally, but they've got the bottom of their order against one of the hottest relievers in all of baseball. That is ripped up the middle for a base hit. Wilson attacked Made with the fastball, and he delivers. So the Brewers have their first step in initiating a rally. They need another base runner to bring up the equalizing tally. Enrique Bradfield trying to make it happen with the top of the order lurking for the Brew Crew. The pitch by Wilson, perfect release and foul tip held on to by the catcher, Bailey, for strike 1. Enrique Bradfield settles back into the left batter's box. This team trailing 5-2. The pitch by Jackson Wilson, cutter. Looks like that nibbled the inside corner, and Wilson wants the umpire to take another look via the ABS system, but he doesn't get the call. 1-1 the count to Bradfield. Wilson, 2 outs away from his 28th save. Here in his 4th Major League season on GOAT difficulty. It's Road to the Show, MLB 26. That's a beautiful changeup over the outside corner. Bradfield was obviously looking for something else. He let that go by. It's 1-2. Bradfield holds the bat high over his shoulder. Wilson's going to attack him with a fastball up and in. The delivery. Strike 3 called on a 97-mile-an-hour heater. And now the last hope for Milwaukee, Brendan Donovan, the former St. Louis Cardinal. At the plate with the Marlins still leading by 3. The pitch by Wilson, and that is crushed by Brendan Donovan into deep right field, and that's going to leave the park. But thankfully, the Marlins still have the lead. Wilson finally gets touched up in regular season play by Brendan Donovan, who was looking fastball all the way, and he trims this Marlins lead to 5-4. It's on Wilson now to clutch up, get refocused, and solidify his 29th save. Good swing by Donovan. You make a mistake on GOAT difficulty, they'll make you pay every time. Look out, bullpen. And now Michael Bush. Wilson with the delivery. Inside ball 1. 5-4 Miami. When Wilson entered this game, it was 5-2. He's trying to end it right here. The pitch, strike 1. The effectiveness continues with that changeup of the hand of Jackson Wilson. 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball past Wilson and up the middle. Second baseman also failed to corral it. And now the winning run is coming to the plate for Milwaukee. The Marlins are going to stick with Wilson. And now it's up to Jackson Chourio. Wilson's only blown 4 saves in 31 opportunities. The Brewers trying to humble him right here. Strike 1 on a perfectly executed slider. Miami trying to take this series here in Milwaukee to open the second half of the regular season. Wilson's going to attack Chourio up and in. The pitch just misses. 1 ball and 1 strike. The inning started with a 5-2 Marlin lead. Wilson got the first hitter to ground out. Gave up a single and a home run. And now he deals with the winning run with 2 out and a runner at first. That's inside, 2-1. Now the question is, if you're the Marlins staff, how long do you stick with Wilson if Chourio gets on base? Wilson's got to make a big pitch right here. Swing and a miss, but the runner will wisely stay put at first. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Wilson catches a break. Chourio came out of his shoes aggressive. See if Wilson can make him pay for it. 2-2 pitch on the way. At the knees, but taken low. Wilson will challenge, but the call will stand. 3-2, the tying run will take off from first. Wilson against Churio. Jackson versus Jackson. He's going to go slider. The 3-2 delivery. Taken low for a walk. Great discipline by Jackson Churio. And now the manager is going to take Wilson out of this game. So Wilson, who had a 5-2 lead entering the bottom of this 10th, is coming off his first All-Star game appearance. Didn't look like himself today. He was able to get 2 outs, but now all of a sudden Miami is against the wall. And Johnny Kelsey has got to get his man, or else Milwaukee can take this game tonight. And it looks like he's going to get him. All right, he got it done. So Kelsey picks up his 3rd save, and the Marlins pick up their 2nd win of this weekend. 5-4 over Milwaukee, a very evenly matched game. 9 hits for each team. Wilson didn't quite get the save this time around, but his teammates backed him up. Wilson's done so much for them in the first half, they're returning the favor. And that's a good sign if you're a Marlins fan. You want to see your team contending for a wild card, they got to have depth. When their all-star gets knocked down, they pick him up again. Danielle, great to have you here. Better late than never, even though we just started this stream about 15 minutes ago. I think it's been 15 minutes. But either way, we still got a long way to go yet. We're going to go to the end of the regular season, and if we're fortunate, maybe we'll back our way to the playoffs. We got a lot of work to do, though. We couldn't quite get the finale of this series, but we do have some momentum. We're only 6 games below 500 as we move on to Houston. Got a 2-run lead against the Astros. We're going to be rocking their throwbacks today. That's actually one of my favorite logos in baseball. I also love Florida's. The Marlins should honestly go back to that full time. As we take a look at Jackson Wilson in his 43rd appearance. 27 for 31 in save opportunities with a 3.59 ERA. It's been very, very efficient. But this is a hitter's haven that he's walking into. It really is a miracle that the Marlins were able to limit the Astros to just 1 run tonight. That doesn't happen very often. 5, 6, and 7 due up for the Stros. The pitch by Wilson is ripped down the left field line. That's going to be fair. This is going to be a leadoff double. So more adversity for Wilson coming out of the second half of the season. The Astros are going to bring up the tying run. Not a bad pitch. Sullivan was way late on it, but he was still able to get it inside the chalk line for a 2-bagger. Just barely. Now we have a dynamic challenge with the tying run at the plate. Jordan Beck. Ramirez will come out to chat with Wilson. Even though we're up by 2, the goal is to end this inning without even allowing that run to second. Across. Pitch by Wilson is a strike. Very effective changeup per usual. It's 0-1. Now we're going to go with a breaking ball. Wilson out of the stretch. The pitch. Line down the right field line. That is going to go foul. Now we're going to climb the ladder on 0-2. Wilson boldly delivers it. Taken inside. 1-2 to Beck. 1-2 count and a 1-for-2 day for Beck so far. Let's go breaking ball off the plate. Wilson deals. Outside. Barely. 2-2. 3-1 Marlins in the bottom of the 9th. Wilson just entering in the closer's role. Trying to get 3 outs and pick up his 28th save. The pitch. Change-up taken low. Full count. And these hitters have been really patient. Wilson's trying to get him to chase that close one. But he's unsuccessful. Another change-up coming here to Beck. Wilson kicks and deals. On the ground to second, but it gets by. And it's going to go all the way to the wall. The tying run is going to move into scoring position. He will hold at second, and it's a 1-run game here in Houston. Wilson gives up at least 1 run for the 2nd consecutive night. That was a great at-bat by Beck. Hit that ball hard. Just hard enough to get it past the outstretched second baseman. And now it's Campero and another meeting on the mound between Wilson and Ramirez. Again, just like in Milwaukee, we got to limit the damage. Wilson delivers. Strike to Campero. We're now at the bottom of the order for Houston, so no intentional walk for Wilson, even though it would set up the double play. Wilson's going to go after these next three hitters right now. That's taken downstairs. 1-1. Wilson's only blown 4 saves in 4 months. The Astros are a well-placed hit away from handing him number 5. The pitch popped up. There's a cutter in on the hands of Campero, but it's going to reach the stands and out of play. 1-2 from Wilson, still working from the stretch. The kick and the pitch in the dirt, and it gets away from the catcher. And this just went from bad to worse for Miami. Tying run at third with nobody out here in the bottom of the ninth. The Astros trailed 3-1, but back-to-back hits and then wildness from Jackson Wilson allowed them to get into this position. Wilson needs a strikeout. 2-2 pitch. Cutter upstairs that's taken for a ball, but Wilson, who's got nothing to lose right now, in challenging it, is going to pull up the ABS, and it was taken upstairs. 3-2 the count to Campero. Wilson kicks and delivers. Ripped into right. We got a tie game. The 5th blown save of the season for Jackson Wilson is right now. Failed to get an out, and now they're going to pull him. If I was the manager, I'd do it. So Wilson is done after blowing his 5th save of the season. He's now 27 for 32. His ERA is going to go up a little bit higher, just like it did in Milwaukee. Wilson also had to be pulled from that game. But thankfully, his team was still able to back him up. Yeah, Danielle, The Walking Dead's over. And the Astros just won. I think we have one more series of The Walking Dead coming up, but it doesn't have a Walking Dead title. It's Michonne. But we're going to get to that later. We're going to finish up this season here, and then we'll get into House of Ashes tomorrow. It's the 3rd game of the Dark Anthology series. We already posted Man of Medan and Little Hope earlier this year, so be sure to check that out if you haven't already. Like, comment, and subscribe. We're not in this for the fame. We're not in this for the fortune. We're in this most importantly for Jesus, but any support we can get is certainly appreciated. It's free of charge to watch our videos and to be here. You can just come as you are, just like in the presence of Jesus. He'll accept you as you are, but be prepared to leave different, because Jesus didn't come just to save us from condemnation. He saved us to lead us into a new life. And Jackson Wilson's definitely pitching like he's living a new life, showing great improvement over his first 3 seasons. This year he was named to the All-Star roster for the National League. And he's going to be called upon to pitch once again here in the bottom of the ninth against Houston, the team that just handed him his 5th blown save of the season. Wilson 27 for 32 as he looks to slam the door with the leadoff man at first and nobody out. The pitch to Joseph Sullivan on the way. Fastball, first pitch swinging. Sullivan was late on it. That came in at 98 miles per hour. 0-1. The next pitch from Wilson, headed home. Swing and a miss, and that's going to get away from the catcher once again. I don't know if they're going to call that a wild pitch or a pass ball. Looks like it was a pass ball. Look at that. The catcher just missed it. It went off his glove. So Wilson not only is going through some adversity with his own stuff, but he's not getting help from his catcher either. He's been anything but a brick wall back there the last couple of days. Wilson needs a big one right here. The 0-2 to Sullivan. He got him! A swing and a miss on a 97-mile-an-hour heater. Wilson fired up even though the job is far from finished. He definitely needed that, especially following that pass ball from his catcher. 1 down. And now Wilson will issue the intentional walk to set up the double play. The bottom of the order now lurking for the Astros, only trailing by a run here in the bottom of the ninth. It's 5-4. And Campero, one of the heroes from the previous game, will come off the bench and pinch run over at first. Tate Southasine, not known for his power nor his offense, but he has a chance to deliver for Houston off the bench as well. Facing Jackson Wilson, that's right down the middle, but taken low for a ball. Wilson thought about challenging, decided not to, and that actually was a poor decision. He would have had a strike call. And now Southasine's got the advantage on 1-0. The pitch by Wilson. That's a strike on a slider that hovered over the outside edge. Southasine thought that was going to stay out. But Wilson evens the count. The next delivery, little tapper. That's going to go foul. Tying run still at second base. The winning run at first following the intentional walk from Wilson to set up a potential double play. 1-2 to Southasine. Ripped down the left field line. And it's fair. We got a tie game. Wilson hung a breaking ball, and that's back-to-back blown saves here in Houston for Jackson Wilson. That's usually how it goes. Somebody not known for their offense is coming up clutch. Wilson tried to get him to roll that over, but he was unsuccessful. Now Pedro Ramirez. That's a strike. Now it's on Wilson to get this game to extra innings. He came in leading 5-4 with a runner at first, was unable to keep the game in the Marlins' favor. Now we definitely need a double play, and we might just get one here. It's back to the mound. Wilson goes to second, but that's going to be it. The only shot was second base and first, and the Astros walk it off again. Wilson not only has handed back-to-back blown saves, but losses as well. That play would have went to home if Wilson hadn't had trouble coming up with it. The only chance of us getting out of that inning was turning 2. Otherwise, if that was a clean comebacker, we would have had a forced play at home. But the Astros win. And the frustration here in the second half of the season for Jackson Wilson continues. Astros go for the sweep tomorrow. Bad time for that, guys. Especially when we're trying to make a run to the wild card. We can't be giving away games like that, and I take responsibility for it. I know I haven't really been known for blowing games this year, but the bottom line is you got to come up for your team when it matters the most. And right now, Wilson is not doing that against Houston. I think he's going to have a third opportunity, though, as he prepares to make another appearance in a match between two even teams. Records are almost identical. The Marlins at 47 and 55, Astros 48 and 55. Now Wilson coming on to face the heart of the order with another 2-run lead to protect. There's a strike on a 99-mile-an-hour fastball. Wilson looking to get that confidence back, and most importantly, that execution that he displayed throughout the entire first half. There's that changeup that swung on and missed, 0-2. Now he's going to look to put Beck away with the slider, and he can't. That's pulled foul. It's still 0-2. Wilson has another sign. The delivery to Beck. Breaking ball down and in. Hitters continuing to be patient against Wilson. Wilson has his sign. The delivery. That was inside, but Wilson's going to double check. Going to break out that ABS system, and it's just a bit low. 2-2 the count to Jordan Beck. Up the ladder we go. The pitch by Wilson. Another close pitch taken inside. Full count on Beck. Payoff from Wilson. Ripped foul. Still 3-2. What an at-bat by Jordan Beck. Wilson trying to win the battle. The pitch. Off the end of the bat. Fly ball into shallow center. And it's caught for out number 1. So Wilson finally gets some momentum in this series against Houston. In the last 2 appearances, the Astros have been getting to Wilson early in the frame and creating rallies with ease. Wilson's looking for some payback here today as he deals with Carson Kelly. That's taken inside, ball 1. Carson Kelly 0 for 3. Trying to come up clutch here and start a rally again for Houston. There's a strike, 1-1. Kelly taking all the way, especially with his team trailing by multiple runs. Wilson kicks and delivers. Perfect release, rolled over foul. 1-2 to Carson Kelly. Here comes a cutter inside. The pitch by Wilson, here it is. On the ground again. It's going to roll foul. Wilson retired. Beck on a fly out to center. And now he's trying to get Carson Kelly. The Astro catcher putting up a great fight. 1-2 pitch. On the ground, another foul. Wilson working both sides of the plate, trying to outsmart Carson Kelly with the game on the line. 1-2 pitch. Got him on the heater! Kelly stunned as he looks back at the home plate umpire. He's shaking his head, but that was the right call. Let her high. And now it's up to Cameron Cawley. 4-2 Marlins trying to salvage a game in this series after Wilson blew a save the last two nights. That's strike one. Wilson on the fringe of picking up his 29th save. Or is it my 28th one? I'm not sure. We'll find out soon enough, hopefully. That's ripped up the middle, a base hit. But the Astros say hold the phone. They're trying to make Wilson remember what happened the last two games. Wilson came in with only 4 blown saves, but the Astros got to him back-to-back nights. And this guy had a lot to do with it in Game 1. Gustavo Campero. He represents the tying run. Wilson trying to get the Marlins back in the win column. Changeup for strike one. Perfectly placed over the outside corner. Now here comes an 0-1 slider. Perfect release, but Campero is patient. 1-1. Wilson nearing his career high in saves, which was 35 the last 2 years. Wilson just became an all-star for the very first time. Trying to put away Houston, leading 4-2 with 2 outs in the ninth. Marlins trying to avoid a sweep. The Astros trying to get their third come-from-behind win this weekend. And now Campero is hit as that cutter gets away from Jackson Wilson. It has not been easy for Wilson since the All-Star break. You could call it maybe an All-Star hangover. But if you take away that one game he saved to start the second half, he's been pretty rusty. But he's trying to hang on here today against Will Bush, and a fly ball into shallow right. And he's going to do just that. The Marlins bend, but they don't break, as we say quite often. Wilson picks up his save, the second since the All-Star break, his 28th overall, and the Marlins avoid the sweep. And there's nobody more relieved in the park than Jackson Wilson, who was one of the biggest reasons why they even lost the first 2 games. Wilson had a lead in the bottom of the ninth both nights, but the Astros came back to win. We just got to flush this one and keep on keeping on. Kiko Lolams, great to have you in here, man, as usual. See if we not only can keep ourselves in the pennant chase, but also set a new career high in saves. Pretty solid season for Wilson so far, the best of his career. 4.09, 32 strikeouts. Whip went up a little bit. It's 1.27. But I've been getting roughed up the last couple of weeks. I just got to get back on track. Everybody goes through it, as we know. Playing on GOAT difficulty. There's going to be a lot of frustration. There's going to be a lot of obstacles. But overall, Wilson has proven time and time again as his overall continues to increase to 72. But he can hang with the big boys. And now he'll try to put away a come-from-behind victory for the Marlins against the Padres. 4-3 fish in the top of the ninth as Vance Honeycutt, the former North Carolina Tar Heel, will be the first to bat against Wilson, who is also a North Carolina alumnus. There are the career numbers for Wilson. He's appeared in 261 games. He's got an ERA of 5.79. A much improved season thus far for the Marlins at 48-55. Wilson trying to lead the Marlins to back-to-back victories after blowing 2 saves and looking rusty in Houston. Vance Honeycutt batting from the right side. 5, 6, and 7 hitters due up for the Padres, and a beautiful changeup is swung on and missed by Honeycutt, strike one. Wilson kicks and deals. Breaking ball in the dirt. Honeycutt is patient. 1-1 the count. Wilson, who works from the stretch with the bases empty, is ready with the fastball. And Honeycutt lifts a lazy fly into right. This is going to be caught for out number 1. That's a good sign for Wilson, that soft contact, letting his teammates do the work behind him. Ariel Amador. One away. Bases empty in the ninth. Wilson trying to get his 29th save. That's popped foul for strike one. Wilson has been dominant, especially in this ballpark as of late. He's fed off the energy from his home fans. And it continues as he's quickly ahead of Ariel Amador. No balls and 2 strikes. Now we're going to drop the curve on him. The 0-2 pitch. Here comes the Uncle Charlie, but Amador lays off it. 1-2 from Jackson Wilson. 146 saves for his career. 28 so far here in 2031, his 4th full season. The pitch. Got him on the changeup. Amador frozen, clearly looking for something else. I think he was stunned that Wilson went with a pitch like that in the hitter's count. But that's on him for not getting that bat off his shoulder. Now it's up to Leonardo Balcazar. Now Wilson goes with a slider on the first pitch, and that's swung on and missed. They put down a fastball. Wilson brings it. Swing and a miss. 0-2. So far, it's a rejuvenated Jackson Wilson here. Starting to look like an all-star again. The pitch outside. 1-2. A crowd of 20,000 plus here in Miami. Ready to celebrate another Marlins victory. Wilson 1 strike away. The delivery. Lazy fly ball into left. And Wilson has done it again. He sets down the Padres in order and picks up save number 29. 6 away from his career high. And the Marlins now have back-to-back victories after Wilson blew his cover 2 nights in Houston. Marlins are back within 6 games of 500. At 49-55, they're currently sitting at 3rd in the National League East. Let's go. Let's get that ERA back where it needs to be. See, Wilson's now getting a lot more action. Now this team is playing better baseball. On average, Wilson would only get in 1 game per series. But now he's got an opportunity to seal a series victory for his club after costing them one against Houston. A chance at redemption right here, and if Wilson can hang on, that's 30 saves here in 2031. Wilson entered this game tied for 4th in the National League in that department. The first-time All-Star brings it, and it's lifted in the air to center. This is playable. 1 pitch and 1 out. Wilson continues to roll here at home. Jefferson Rojas failing to start a rally here at the bottom of the lineup. And now here's the number 9 hitter, Balcazar, who made the last out against Wilson yesterday. Wilson trying to keep him off the bases. Outside ball 1. As you can see at the bottom of your screen, the American League saves leader is Daniel Palencia at 36. Wilson not too far behind him. Trying to get number 30 here today. Swung on and missed as Wilson took something off that slider. 1-1 the count. Wilson to Balcazar. Fastball lifted in the air to left. That's going to get down. So a 1-out single, and there's life for the Padres here in the ninth. Balcazar does his job, not trying to do too much. Just give the best hitters an opportunity. Representing the tying run, here's Fisher. That's a strike over the outside corner. No challenge from Fisher. He knew it. He struck out and grounded out 3 times. Wilson with the 0-1. On the ground to first, so that's going to go foul for strike 2. Wilson trying to come up clutch with the tying run at the plate. The 0-2 coming. Uncle Charlie on the ground. Double play's going to end it for the Marlins. That's like the 10th time this year that Wilson has initiated a game-ending double play. That curveball is wicked when it's right. And that's 30 saves. 3rd time that Wilson has reached that tier in his career. 35 is his career high. That's his 8th save here in the month of July. The same month in which he was named an All-Star. The Marlins have now won 3 straight. All of those games have been saved by Wilson. They are now 50 and 55 as Wilson's dominance continues in South Beach. I think I know what happened. Kiko Lowlands just had to come in here. because usually when Kiko Lowlams joins the show, we do really well, no matter the sport. So I got to give you a shout out, Kiko, my brother in Christ. You always pump me up. You always make me feel good, even when the times are tough. Really appreciate the support, my man. And check that out. Now Wilson's up to second in National League saves. He's got 30, 5 behind the Atlanta Braves. And now he's going to have to pitch in a tie game. It's the top of the ninth, 3-3. Non-safe situation for Wilson, but he could still play a key role in helping the Marlins get a sweep, which would be much needed, because if they can pull this off today, there'll be only 4 games under 500. That is fouled away by Balcazar. 1-1 from Jackson Wilson, who has had much better stuff every single year he's been in the league. Continues to improve, continues to put in that work, and he is now making effective pitches, making it easy for his defense behind him. 1 out in the ninth. Balcazar with a little tapper off the end of the bat. You got to love the improvement that this Marlins team has shown earlier this season, and my past video stands a testament to this. I was thinking about testing free agent waters. But if this kind of play keeps up here in Miami, I'm not going anywhere. And knowing me, you guys that know me, I want to stay with one team my whole career. Oh, that looked like a strike to me. That was a beautiful slider out of the hand of Wilson. But he can't get the strike 2 call. Instead, it's 1-1. Bases empty, top of the ninth. Wilson entered with a 3-3 tie, trying to give the Marlins a chance to walk it off. That's rolled over foul by Jace Bowen. 1-2. Bowen, open stance. Wilson with the pitch. You got it, Kiko Lowlams. And guess what? Not only is the shout out for you, that strikeout is for you. 2 down in the ninth. Wilson, Kiko Lowlams, who has always believed in him, is now pitching like an all-star, and he is an all-star. He was in the all-star game in mid-July, and he is turning into the franchise player for the Marlins. You haven't really been able to say that for a closer since Mariano Rivera did for the Yankees. That's a swing and a miss by Andrew Fisher. Wilson just continues to dominate the Padres, and he's going to stick with the smoke up high. The pitch to Fisher. Lays off it, 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs in the ninth. 3-3 game. Wilson with the pitch. Lined. Diving stop by the shortstop. He throws. Get Sports Center over here. Oh my gosh. That is the defensive play of the year for George Lombard. From his knees. And making the throw all in one motion to keep the game tied, but we have to go to extras. Ah, that's unfortunate. But a chance for Wilson to make a statement against Fernando Tatis. And you know what? Call me chicken. I'm going to put you on. Because I want to set up the double play right here. Me personally, I can't stand this ghost runner deal. Especially when your team can't score a run off it. Like, I've had so many games in my career that I've lost or blown a save because of just a ghost runner, an unearned run that wasn't even my fault. That's the situation we're in right here as Ethan Salas takes a pitch that looked like it was in the strike zone. I originally wasn't going to challenge, but let's take another look. Oh, man. That pitch looked like a strike. I don't know, man, but we got a lot of work to do now. 2 on, nobody out of the 10th. Salas with a big rip, strike 1. The Padres trying to avoid a sweep here in Miami as they clash with the Marlins here in late July. Swing and a miss by Salas as he was off balance on that nasty changeup from Wilson. Now he's going to go with the Uncle Charlie. Crowd rises to its feet. Here comes Wilson in the dirt. No movement from the runners. Wise decision there. Good job by the Marlin catcher to get in front of that. Back inside with the cutter. 2-2 from Wilson. He got him! No chance on that 96-mile-an-hour pellet. Second strikeout of the day for Jackson Wilson and his 10th this month out of the bullpen. 1 down here in the Padre ninth. And now a double play will send us to the bottom half of the frame. Moniak, who is a double play candidate, will stand in. The pitch by Wilson, improved confidence. That's grounded foul for strike one. To be honest, that changeup was a little higher than I wanted it. Want to keep everything down so we can get a potential double play. That's blocked again by the catcher. I think that's Bailey back there. Because when we had Ramirez, whatever his name was, he was letting a lot of those get away. Bailey's our guy. Him and Wilson are the battery of the future for Miami. The pitch. Line drive into the gap in right center. That's going to get down. Not a bad pitch from Wilson, but the unearned run will score along with Fernando Tatis, and it's now 5-3 San Diego in the 10th. Moniak makes Wilson pay for that intentional walk. And now the pitch on the way to Bogaerts is a strike. Bogaerts hitless today, just 1 for 10 in the series, but his team is 3 outs away from getting out of here with a win. Avoiding the sweep, the 0-1. Fastball for strike 2. Wilson continuing to attack that strike zone, doing everything in his power to keep his team alive. Breaking ball, Bogaerts lays off the breaking pitch. 1-2 coming from Jackson Wilson. Bogaerts is nailed in the back. Wilson again trying to go upstairs with that, but he misses the corner, and now that's going to be it. I think I have a career high in batters hit this year. It just goes to show my pitches have a lot more movement on them now. So whenever I'm trying to spot a corner and the timing's not right, this is what can generally happen. But I'm honestly surprised they even left me in for Bogaerts. Right after I gave up those 2 runs, they should have pulled me. And now, that's a win for San Diego. Wilson takes the loss. He drops to 2-6. My ERA is probably going to skyrocket a little bit because that was 3 earned runs that scored in that game. That first one wasn't charged to me, but that runner that I gave up that double on, as well as that batter I hit, they both came across to score. But you got to shake it off. Shake it off, get the next one. We got the Phillies coming to town. Got to bring my A game for them. Oh, wow, I didn't even get the pitch against them. We did take the series, which is a positive. But now we got another pressure situation in a tie game. We're on the road against the New York Mets. The Marlins hanging around. They're 6 games under 500 at 52-58 as we enter the month of August. We're still not a playoff team, but we're definitely making some added strides. Wilson still ranks 4th in the National League in total saves with 30, but this will be a non-save situation for him as the Mets and the Marlins do battle here in the bottom of the ninth. Part of the lineup for the Mets. We're tied at 6. That's fouled away for strike 1. Wilson attacking that zone immediately, showing no fear, not giving into pressure. Says, here's my fastball, hit it. And now he gives him a changeup. It's 1-1 to Westberg. Mets and Marlins in the National League East rivalry here at Citi Field. 1-1 from Wilson. That is lifted in the air to right, but right at the right fielder for out number 1. Good start to this 9th inning for Jackson Wilson as he looks to get this to extras. Here is Victor Robles. Let's go slider. For the red-hot Robles, who was 3 out of 4. There's a strike and a beauty over the outside edge. How about that increased velocity on that slider from Wilson? It's now in the 90s. The 0-1. Swing to tap foul by Robles. Quickly, no balls and 2 strikes. See how he likes the Uncle Charlie. Bases empty. The delivery. Got him on the check swing. Home plate umpire said that's my call. He went around. And now we're 1 out away from extra innings. Here is Brandon Nimmo. Wilson once again looking like his dominant self. There's a swing and a miss on a 96-mile-an-hour cutter. Now can Wilson get some help from his offense? Have a chance to wrap this up in the bottom of the 10th, should we get that far. 2 quick strikes to Brandon Nimmo, and now Wilson's going to climb the ladder. We're not going to get cute with this. We're going right after him. See you later! 3 pitches. Nimmo completely confused, and Wilson buries the Mets and forces free baseball here at Citi Field. Lombard, Ramirez, and Chapman will try to get him a lead. Of course they don't. See, this is what I'm talking about, guys. Every time I'm on the mound and we have that runner at second, nobody out, we do not score. And now if that run scores right there, I take a loss, even though I didn't give up an earned run today. That's such ridiculousness. But at the same time, both teams have equal opportunities. So we don't deserve the win. Adley Rutschman.
Nope, that's the ball.
You know, to be honest, I'm probably going to pitch around Rutschman. Yeah, hitters count. I'm just going to walk him. I'd rather set up the double play, and if they do a sacrifice bunt, I'll just walk him again and set up a play at any base. Here is Austin Martin. We're already playing with fire and house money right now because since our team squandered that opportunity in the top of the 10th, we really have our backs against the wall. Here's strike one from Jackson Wilson as he elected to go with the changeup over the outside corner. Martin, the number 8 hitter, trying to be the hero tonight for the Mets. That's grounded to short. This will definitely help our cause. It's a twin killing. The winning run moves to third, but now Wilson can just focus on the batter. 6-4-3. You cannot say enough about the job that Jackson Wilson has done under pressure in these situations, giving his team a chance at another life. Now all he has to do is go through Alexander Vargas. Going to give him the cutter. Swung on and missed. Vargas may have second-guessed himself halfway around, but it was too late. Strike one as that cutter looked like it was going to be right in his wheelhouse, but it tailed inside. Now here comes an 0-1 from Jackson Wilson. Went upstairs, now he goes downstairs. 1-1 the count. Again, Vargas looking to be aggressive. We buckled his shoulders, but he was able to hold up. Now the 1-1. Here's a ground ball down the line. Foul. There's a chopper that nearly got over the third base bag. And now Wilson one strike away from getting us to the 11th. The pitch on the way. Popped up on the infield. Get me a run, please. What more could I be doing for this team? Wilson with 2 on, nobody out, gets a double play. And with the winning run 90 feet away, he gets the pop-up. And we still can't take the lead. All right, we got a home run hitter up. Give him the intentional walk. Here we go again, guys. For the second straight inning, we're going to have 2 on base with nobody out here in the bottom of the 11th. Here comes another boss challenge for Jackson Wilson. It's Rafael Devers. You know what? I'd rather pitch to Devers with 2 on than with first base open, because all that matters really is that runner at second. If he scores, they win. That runner at first means nothing right now. I mean, I guess I'll try to strike him out, but we really have no other choice. I know he's an MVP candidate, but we got to go after him right here. That's a changeup that misses low and in, 1-0. If we lose this game, I did all I could, guys. I'm going to be the losing pitcher if we fall short. But, man, that ERA is going to lower. 2-0 as Devers now has a hitter's count with Jackson Wilson on the bump. Wilson in danger of losing his 3rd game since the All-Star break, even though this one's not necessarily going to be because he pitched bad. There's a ball, but Wilson going to look into our home plate umpire. That looked like a strike, yep. Caught the inside corner. That's a big pitch for Wilson to make, especially with a count like this against Devers. 2-1 delivery. Ripped and into left field. Will they send the game-winning run? They will not. Great diving stop by the catcher. And now we're going to be coming home. Any base. Good piece of hitting by Rafael Devers on that tricky curveball. And now here's Lindor. Infield is in. The pitch by Wilson. Strike one to Lindor. Heart of the order for the Mets. Bases loaded. Nobody out in the 11th. We need a force play at the plate. The pitch by Wilson. Lindor lays off 1-1. Nowhere to put anybody if you're Wilson. You got to make your pitches right here. Here's a 1-1 to Lindor. Tap foul 1-2. We'll also take a strikeout. See if Lindor is patient with this Uncle Charlie. The pitch on the ground. They come home. Out. No! They threw it away! You cannot make this up! You can't make this up! I've got no help! I made the pitch! He had plenty of time to throw it, and he airmailed it 10 feet wide to the right! Can we get a replay? No, we can't. But man, that had to be one of the worst throws I've ever seen. And look, no earned runs in 3 innings, and I take a loss. Thanks, Rob Manfred. Really appreciate it, man. 2 tries with a runner at second and nobody out, and we can't score once. Unbelievable. You guys want to go to the playoffs? You gotta win games like this. Now, I understand. I was on the opposite end of this. You guys gave me a lead in Houston and I blew it. It happens. But I don't care. We're focused on today. I made up for it. 3 scoreless innings. And all we needed is 1 run to win the game. And we fell short. I'm sorry, guys, but you can't say that that's not frustrating. That is a punch in the gut, especially when you're trying to knock off a rival. But as we say, life goes on. We're just going to keep battling through it like we usually do. Jackson Wilson getting ready for a new day. Look at this. We got to catch the Mets. We can't be wasting games like this. Every game matters, especially at this point of the year. And now Jackson Wilson's going to try to lock up a save. With his team leading 7-5. First pitch is off the plate for ball 1. Thought about challenging, but it ended up being the right decision. See, we got 4 viewers now. Welcome to Ladder of Light Gaming, guys. This is MLB 26 Road to the Show on GOAT difficulty. With yours truly, Jackson Wilson, playing in his 5th season as the Marlins closer. We've yet to make the playoffs, but we just made it to the All-Star game for the first time. Here we are in the month of August, trying to pick up our 31st save. That's fouled away by Martin, who had a hitter's count of 2-0. Wilson trying to rally. And here comes a 2-1 pitch. That's rolled over to third. Nice stab. He can take his time. Make a good throw, please. Thank you. 1 down. So you mean to tell me we can make that throw from, like, across the entire diamond, but we can't make a routine throw to home plate with the game on the line? Man, I still can't believe that game ended like that. Here's ball 1, but Wilson wants the umpires to take another look. Vargas playing with fire. That was right on the inside corner. Strike 1. I think we found another umpire that needs some glasses. I'll gladly donate them. Here comes the 0-1. Vargas in the hole, 0-2. Wilson. 1 out, nobody on. The 0-2 to Vargas. Breaking ball, fisted over to short. Step and throw, 2 down.
Up next for the Mets, the center fielder, number 30.
Good thing it's not hit to our second baseman, because he was the one who made that atrocious throw. Third baseman and shortstop are doing their jobs. Wilson trying to keep doing his. Looking for another shutdown inning against the Mets, this time in a safe situation. Let's take it inside for a ball. It's 1-0. Wilson's going to go right after Trent Grisham. All fastballs. The pitch. There's a strike, perfectly fitted over the inside corner, 1-1. Going to throw that pitch again. This time it's a cutter. The delivery. Perfect release, but it tails inside. Good eye by Grisham. 2-1 from Wilson. Now he's going to go off speed. 2-1 on the way. Perfect release, and Grisham bounces it foul. 2-2. Cutter. The pitch. Jammed, but it's a base hit into center. Good piece of hitting by Grisham. And the tying run will step to the plate for the Mets. And here is Rafael Devers, who delivered against Wilson in the previous contest. Wilson trying to clutch up once again with the game on the line against a proven superstar. Devers swung on and missed. Devers stunned. He was ready for the fastball, but Wilson gave him the off speed. He's going to do it again. Devers fooled twice. 0-2, and again the Mets down to their final strike. Wilson trying to prove that he can compete with the best of them. The 0-2 to Devers. Oh, he thought about it. But Devers wisely lays off. Wilson, he knew he almost had him right there. He was playing with fire. Now we're going to try to give him the cutter. 1-2 delivery from Wilson. Ripped up the middle. That's another base hit. Grisham with good speed. He'll turn and go to third. And they might just score him. And he is going to cross to make this a one-run game. So after all that talk that Wilson made towards his teammates, he's on the fringe of giving this game away. But it's not over yet. We still have a one-run lead. Here is Jordan Westberg. 2 for 4 with a double and a single. And now Ramirez gives Wilson a simple command. Get this guy out and lock up the win. That's all we need. Lifted foul down the right field line by Westberg. Strike one. The 0-1. Check swing, he went around. Strike two. And for the third straight hitter, Wilson is one strike away. Tying run at second, 2 down. The pitch by Wilson. There's strike three. Westberg swings through the breaking ball. You better get it down there, catcher. Jeez. Made that closer than it needed to be. But Jackson Wilson gets through it. Gives up a run, but he picks up the save. His 31st of the year. The Mets take the series, but the Marlins avoid the sweep. 7-6 the final. Great bounce-back game for the offense. 15 hits. And the 2031 All-Star Jackson Wilson continues to deliver for his team more often than not. He's got a 4.29 ERA. That's a career low. 4 away from matching his career best in single-season saves. If you guys are new, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. This is MLB 26 Road to the Show with Action Jackson Wilson, Action for Jesus. Closing pitcher for the Miami Marlins, playing on GOAT difficulty. We're now in the month of August, wrapping up our 4th full season in the Bigs, our 5th overall. Wilson was called up in the middle of 2027, was able to get 15 saves, and in his official rookie campaign, he had 31. And the last 2 seasons, 35 back-to-back. This season, Wilson has 31, with still a month and a half left to play. It is worth mentioning that Wilson was on pace to break his career high last season, but he had a dislocated shoulder that sidelined him for the month of September. Hopefully we don't go through that again. But Wilson had a great offseason of therapy and rehab, and he came back and made the All-Star team. I think Wilson is healthy, guys. Great performance today for the Marlins here in Atlanta. This will be a non-save situation for Wilson and a 5-0 advantage. The vast majority of this crowd has stuck around for the division-leading Atlanta Braves, but they got a lot of work to do here today. This is a rare occurrence, especially in this ballpark, which the Braves fans call the Battery. The Braves can usually be counted on to score at least 1 run in every home game. They're one of the most efficient offenses in the league. So when they're getting shut out through 8 innings, you know you're doing something right. Wilson trying to keep them right here as he faces the bottom of the order. Alvarado with a pretty good cut, but he got underneath a fastball, and he lifts it in the air to left. The catch is made in front of the warning track, 1 out. All Marlins here today as they're on top of the division-leading Atlanta Braves, 5-0. They're calling upon Wilson to get the final 3 outs, the 5-0 lead. Wilson kicks and delivers. Swing and a miss by Murakami. I got to tell you, that cutter has been looking more and more effective every single day for Jackson Wilson, as he's got the Braves right where he wants them. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, nobody on. And now he's going to stick with the smoke. He's going to climb the ladder against Murakami, and he buries him. A fly ball into center. This is going to be a base hit, actually. I thought for sure that was the 2nd out, but can't do anything about that. It's one of those where you just got to shake your head. Now Joe Adell, who has had Wilson's number early in his career. Wilson dominated Adell a season ago. Trying to continue that trend, but the Marlins leading 5-0. You don't want to let a team like the Braves back into the game. There's a swing and a miss on a good slide piece, 0-2. Let's go back to that again. 0-2 to Adell. See you later. Carved him up like a pumpkin on Halloween. 3 pitches, and he's gone. Wilson slider, looking like one of the nastiest in the National League on that sequence. And now Bryce Terang. Wilson trying to conclude a shutout. He may not be getting a save today, but hey, a shutout is just as nice. 0-1 delivery to Bryce Terang in the dirt, blocked by the catcher, 1-1. No advancement from the runner at first. Especially in this situation, the Braves need base runners, trailing by 5. Wilson, the closer for the Marlins, pitching in a non-save situation. The pitch. Terang takes a cutter in off the plate. And it's 2-1. No challenge from Wilson. Hitters count for Terang, who is 0 for 4. Trying to break out of his funk and keep this game alive. That's not going to help. Devastating changeup from Wilson, 2-2. Now we're going to climb the ladder at the fastball. 2-2 delivery. Way upstairs, and it's a full count to Bryce Terang. Going to try to throw this slider for a strike. Here we go. The pitch by Wilson. Rolled over to first. It is foul. Changeup. See if he's looking for this in a fastball count. On the ground to second. That's a shutout win for the Marlins, and our second baseman can finally make a simple throw. Thank the Lord for that. Marlins avoid another sweep here in Atlanta. Now we're starting to get more on the losers' end. Got to pick up the pace again if we're going to back our way into a wild card. The Marlins currently sit at 54-62 as this season continues on. Appreciate everybody's support. Thank you guys for tuning in. This is GOAT Difficulty, Road to the Show with Action Jackson Wilson here on MLB 26. For the PS5, my gamer tag is Action for Jesus. Feel free to add me if you must. We'll definitely get some runs in sometime. I play a lot of team-oriented games, including 2K. So, holler at your boy. And don't forget, guys, Jesus Christ loves you. He's the way, the truth, and the life. It's time to repent. Turn from your sin. Put your faith in Him. The kingdom of heaven is at hand. You want to go to heaven after your life on this earth is through? You got to have a Savior, because you're a sinner otherwise. I, too, would have been doomed to condemnation for my wrongdoings, but Jesus is creating something new in me ever since I gave my life to Him. All the glory goes to Him for these live streams, win or lose. He is to be praised. And here is Jackson Wilson getting ready for his, I think, 50th outing of the season. It's somewhere around there. But this is going to be a 4-out save situation. Wilson's trying to pick up his 32nd save overall. And he would then be 3 away from matching a career high, as here he comes. Wilson receiving cheers from the home faithful as usual. Miami may have lost a majority of its fan base because of years of struggles, but Wilson is definitely reigniting a fire in this ballpark. Wilson has surpassed 30 saves for a fourth consecutive season. He had 31 as a rookie, 35 back-to-back years, and now he's got 31, chasing 32 here in 2031. He's trying to put out this fire in the 8th, and it's only going to take one pitch. Wilson's third baseman will call for it, and Matt Chapman makes the catch. 4-out save, 1 down, 3 to go for Wilson. Halo's rally has been put out, at least for the time being. 5-2 fish as we go to the 9th.
Leading off for the Angels,
Diego Montañez. 6, 7, and 8 hitters for the Angels. Wilson's going to go in attack mode. He's got the 98-mile-an-hour fastball working to perfection there. 0-1. Wilson, the sidestep, the pitch. Montañez in the hole, 0-2. It's the way Wilson operates. Gets ahead in counts more often than not. Challenges hitters, lets his defense do the work. Like to see right here. Off-balance swing. Second baseman is finally locked back in. 1 down in the 9th. Wilson's retired the first 2 hitters he's faced. Trying to continue his home dominance and pick up save number 32. Tyler Whitaker looking to spark a rally for the Angels. High fly ball into center. Back at the track, and this is going to leave the park. That's way out of here. Wilson serving up a big fly. But the good news is his team is still leading by 2. Third home run of the season for Whitaker. That got out in a hurry. 448 feet. Just talked about Whitaker starting to rally. He's done it. A young stud for the Angels with a vintage moment against Wilson. He's going to look to tighten back up and go after Dexter Guzman. Flush it, protect this 2-run lead. Going to go back to the fastball. Guzman takes a strike. 0-1. The pitch. Heater up in the zone. That's fouled away. 0-2. Seeing a lot more fastballs out of the hand of Wilson. And now he's going to sprinkle in the changeup. And he barely got a piece. Wilson 31 for 37 in save opportunities. The National League All-Star brings it. Outside 1-2. Wilson appeared in the 7th inning of this year's All-Star game. He's proven himself as one of the National League's best relievers. And he's continuing to show it right here. He gave up a solo home run, but he's retired the other 3 batters he's faced. 3 out of 4 set down. And now Wilson's going to look to conclude the 4-out save here today in interleague play for the Marlins. Boyce Diaz, the number 9 hitter, strike 1, taking all the way in this situation. Everything about that pitch was perfect from Jackson Wilson, and that is hit in the air to left, and this is going to be caught, and that's the ball game. Wilson's defense does its job. Wilson gives up a run, but it's nowhere near enough. Marlins take the victory, 5-3. 32 saves for Jackson Wilson. He's on a healthy pace to break a new career high. He's 32 for 38 overall. He's been very efficient for the Marlins, and yes, Kiko Lowlams, that was a much-needed win, especially for a team that's trying to make a run at 500. We still got ways to go. We're 55 and 62. But one positive is we're not in last place. That's where we've been the last 3 seasons I've been in the league, so we'll definitely take that. I understand we're not quite ready to contend for the playoffs. I just want to see some more improvement. I got a lot of room to grow yet. But no matter what happens the rest of the way, we did take a big step forward here in 2031. And I think for the 2nd straight game, Wilson is going to have to get a 4-out save. And look at this. Bases loaded, facing A.J. Ewing here in the top of the 8th. Wilson trying to put out an even bigger fire as he deals with the top of the Angels' order. Slider taken inside for a ball. This would be a much-deserved save for Wilson if he can pull this off. Back's currently against the wall, but that is when we are at our best. Bases loaded but stranded. Wilson gets the job done and keeps the Marlins in the lead for the time being. We need to get more support. Let's see what happens in the bottom of this 8th. Nope, of course not. So after putting out a bases-loaded bonfire, Wilson's going to try to conquer the heart of the order for the Angels and weather the storm, clinging to a 3-2 lead. The Marlins may still be swimming, but they're in rapids right now. Can they survive? Behind Jackson Wilson. Up the middle, that's a base hit. So a good start to this 9th inning for the Angels. That wasn't hit hard, but it was in the right spot for Waldschmidt, who's doing quite a bit of celebrating despite being down a run. You just had a base hit, buddy. Now, if you hit a home run, that's a different story, but don't celebrate too much just yet. However, the Angels are one swing away from giving him every right to celebrate. And now Ramirez will come out to talk with Wilson. We got some stretch work here. Let's try to get a double play. The pitch to Peraza. On the ground. Second baseman has it. Flips for 1. On to first, not in time. That's okay. We got an out somewhere. 2 outs to go for Jackson Wilson. Here is Zach Bean. Wilson trying to pick up a 4-out save for the 2nd game in a row. He came in with the bases loaded in the top of the 8th. Retired his first hitter without any damage being done. And now Bean looks at a cutter in on his hands. 1-0. Now a double play will end it. Wilson trying to get Bean off balance and rolling over. Runner goes. Throw down by Ramirez, and he's safe. Good time for the Angels to get aggressive. Not only did Wilson look toward the plate and not the first, but he threw the right pitch for him to go on. It was a changeup. Now Zach Bean Has Wilson right where he wants him. A 2-0 count with first base open, and he hits it in the air to right. This is carrying, and it's going to leave the park for a home run. The Angels take the lead on a go-ahead home run by Zach Veen. Wilson challenged him with a cutter, and Zach Veen squared it up. That's heartbreaking. The crowd didn't quite groan like it was a no-doubter, but I knew it was going to be gone right when it left his bat. You know how it usually is with GOAT difficulty. When they hit a ball that area of the field, it's usually going to carry out of here. And now Boyce Diaz. That's hammered down the left field line, and that's going to go foul. So Wilson with his 7th blown save. Kicks and deals. That's rolled over the third. Now it's on us to limit the damage. 2 down in the ninth. So the Angels trying to bounce back after falling short against the Marlins yesterday. And now the manager is going to make a move. Out he comes. He'll take the ball from Wilson. Wilson got 3 outs today, but that wasn't enough. He had to get 4. And with 1 out in the ninth, he surrendered a go-ahead home run to the Angels' power-hitting lefty. The Marlins threaten with a runner at first, but the Halos are going to reign supreme. The loss for Jackson Wilson as he falls to 2-8. It's a tough game to lose, especially with it being the rubber match with the series on the line. But it's still been a great year for Wilson overall. 32 saves and 39 opportunities. But gave up a single and a home run. That effort wasn't good enough. Got to be able to shut him down in that situation. And we have been more often than not, but unfortunately that wasn't the case on this day. Wilson goes back to the bullpen, continuing to put more break on that curveball. Now we got the Pittsburgh Pirates coming into town. 2 outs, top of the ninth. Wilson trying to set down one hitter and get his team up to bat with an opportunity to walk it off. You want to talk about much-needed wins, Kiko Lowlams? This would be another one. Because now all of a sudden we're back to 10 games under 500. This season is slipping away from us. We got to start getting back on the positive track. Wilson trying to play a key role in doing that right here. All he needs is 1 out. And he misses downstairs with a changeup to Harrison Bader. Bader will come off the bench and pinch hit for the Pirates. He's got home run power, but Wilson is trying to keep that ball in check. Bader tried to get ahead in the count, challenged that pitch over the inside corner, but Wilson gets the call. It's 1-1. Now the next delivery. Bader fouls it away. 1-2 from Jackson Wilson. Trying to come up big for his team yet again. He got him! A swing and a miss on a slider below the knees. Now can the Marlins get Wilson a win? In the bottom of this ninth, Lombard, Campbell, and Chapman due up. And we can't, so we'll go to extra innings. Isaac Paredes with first base open. Top of the order for Pittsburgh. Ball 1 off the plate from Jackson Wilson. Wilson electing to pitch to Paredes and not set up the double play. That's tapped foul, 1-1. Now if Paredes is retired, then we'll probably do the intentional walk. Swing and a miss. 1-2 to Isaac Paredes. Wilson struck out Harrison Bader to end the ninth, trying to pick up a big K to begin the 10th. And that's lifted in the air to right. That may not be a strikeout, but it's still effective nonetheless. Bader's looking to tag, and he's going to be doubled up! That's what I'm talking about, defense. Chase, take a bow, my friend. That was masterclass. I kind of knew Bader was going to challenge him with his speed, but that was a perfect throw on a hop into Matt Chapman. All in one motion, executed to perfection. And now Jared Duran. Wilson with the pitch. It's right at the knees, but call the ball. But we're going to double check. We got nothing to lose. We got all the momentum on our side. but that's taken below the knees. 1-0 the count. 1 run on 6 hits for each team. Wilson kicks and delivers. Lifted in the air to the gap in left center field. That's going to get down. So Pittsburgh continuing to show some fight here in this 10th inning. They once again will have a runner at second base. Wilson put out one fire. The Pirates continuing to rub that flint and steel. Now Buxton, swing and a miss. Wilson went with the slider, and Buxton was fooled. 0-1. Go-ahead run at second base once again for the Pirates. Here in extra innings. Breaking ball misses downstairs from Wilson. It's 1-1. Wilson trying to give his team another chance to walk it off. Runner goes, ground ball, base hit into left field, and the Pirates have the lead. The hit and run was on, and Buxton delivers. What a 2-out rally by Pittsburgh. Now Pete Alonso, ripped to third, and that's the inning. Dadgummit. All right, guys, we got a runner at second, nobody out. If you can't score him, we don't deserve to win. And of course, 2 outs, runner still at second base, and we lose. We lose. If I allow 1 run, I lose. I got 9 losses now because of this. This is ridiculous. I literally have to be perfect, guys. If I'm not perfect in extra innings, if I give up a run, it's over. It's freaking over. I don't know what else to say, guys. We can't make the playoffs with this offense. We can't. We just can't. I don't care how good I pitch. We can't make the playoffs. I'm sorry. This is not going to cut it. All you can do is throw up your hands up and say, why me? Especially considering that we wiped out that runner at second originally, and then they get a double and a single even after that and still win the game. Give the Pirates credit, man. They can hit, unlike us. This is ridiculous. Thankfully, we won the last game of the series, but we're not playing for like 1 win every series. We're playing for something bigger. All right, I got a 2-run lead in this game. This is one of the teams we got to catch, Cincinnati.
For Miami, number 4.
It's on me once again. I got to clutch up. Wilson 32 for 39 and save chances. He's got a 4.58 ERA. Don't let that 2-9 record fool you. 6 of those losses have come in the second half of this season when I've got no support from my teammates at all. Now, granted, it's not always on them. I've blown a couple saves. But, man, more often than not, every time I lose a game, it's because we can't bring that runner from second in extras, ever. Wilson's got a 7-5 lead here tonight at Cincinnati, and he starts Matthew Lugo out with 2 quick strikes. Now the 0-2 delivery. Downstairs with a changeup, 1-2. Wilson 3 saves away from matching his career high for a single season. He kicks and deals. Got him on the breaking ball.
Up next for the Reds, the right fielder, Jung-Hoo Lee.
There's the left-handed swinging Jung-Hoo Lee. Left-handed bats have struggled as of late against Jackson Wilson. Wilson trying to keep that narrative the same as he deals a cutter over the inside corner. The umpire called it a ball, but Wilson going to look into our ABS system just in case. He doesn't get that call. He's looking to hunker down, go after Jung-Hoo Lee right here. There's a good one. 1 ball, 1 strike as Wilson paints the black with that 99-mile-an-hour fastball. Now here comes a curve, and Lee back to the mound. Wilson, the former outfielder, who plays his position well, has out number 2. Now the last hope for the Reds stands in, and it's Ryan Jeffers. He's 1 for 2 with a single. Wilson trying to pick up his 33rd save of 2031. That's lifted foul down the right field line for strike 1. Wilson super effective thus far here today against Cincinnati. Getting ahead of one hitter after another. 0-2 to Ryan Jeffers. Here comes another Uncle Charlie, and he barely is able to stay alive. Now we're going to climb the ladder on the cutter. 0-2 pitch again from Wilson. Fouled away by Jeffers. Still 0-2. Now Wilson elects to go with the slider that's tailing away from right-handed hitters. See you later! Wilson sets the Reds down in order. He completely embarrasses Jeffers, and Wilson now has 33 saves as he locks up a victory to open this series for the Marlins. 7-5 is your final here at Great American Ballpark. Wilson now 33 out of 40 in save chances. Marlins back to single digits within 500 at 57 and 66. Let's go, guys. Fire me up. If we got anybody watching, let's do some positive vibes in the comment section. All right, 2 outs, bottom of the ninth, 10-4 lead. You could just get that third out and just go home. Wow, we actually have the same record as the Phillies right now. Pretty shocking, especially on their part, considering they just won the World Series 2 years ago. They tried to reload with all these young acquisitions, but it hasn't really worked out for them. I'm sorry to say, Kiko Low Lambs, but 2031 has definitely been a year to forget for Philly fans. Wilson trying to make that even more so with the Marlins leading 10-4 at a quiet Citizens Bank Park. The 0-1 pitch. Tails down and away to Bo Bichette. 1 ball and 1 strike. Wilson, who was named an All-Star for the first time in his career, trying to lock up a 10-4 victory for the Marlins here today. That's taken inside 2-1 to Bo Bichette. Hitters count, so Wilson will go with the slider instead of the fastball. And it's a beauty. 2-2 to Bichette. Bases empty, 2 out. All Marlins here tonight, trying to pick up their 57th win of the year. Wilson couldn't put the final nail in the coffin, at least not yet. He's now got a 3-2 pitch coming for Bo Bichette. The payoff. Lifted in the air to left. But this will die at the wall. And the Marlins take the victory, 10-4, over Kiko Low Lambs' Philadelphia Phillies. It's always great to win in the National League East. Positive start to this series for Miami. No save, but Wilson still feeling good. It's always great to get the final out of a ball game, no matter how much your team is up. Wilson had a little bit of adversity coming out of the All-Star break, but he's making adjustments. He's doing his job, maintaining his roster spot. As you can see, 33 for 40 in save chances. Got the lowest ERA of my career thus far, 4.47. And we're playing on that GOAT difficulty. All right, now this is where it gets interesting. A save situation for Wilson, facing Jackson Holliday. With no room to breathe here in the bottom of this night. Heart of the order for the Phillies. Looking for a little redemption. Here's a fly ball, lifted into left. But it's not hit hard enough. Jackson Holliday makes the first out here in the bottom of the ninth. Wilson trying to reward his starting pitchers. Pick up 2 more outs. But he's got Bryce Harper standing in his way. This is somebody you don't want to make a mistake against. The pitch by Wilson. Change up below the knees. Harper remaining patient. Bases empty. 1 out here in the bottom of the ninth inning. Marlins taking on the Phillies here at Citizens Bank Park. That's ripped into right by Harper, but he is out number 2. Wilson's dominance of the Phillies continues into tonight. Ever since year 2, when the Phillies won the World Championship, they've been having a lot of frustration more often than not against this determined right-handed closer for the Marlins. Cody Clemens takes a slider inside 1-0. Wilson looking for save number 34. Then he would be 1 away from matching his career high for a single season. 1-1 to Cody Clemens. Wilson's next pitch. That's a strike, 1-2. Phillies down to their last strike. The 1-2 pitch to Cody Clemens. Downstairs. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Now let's go with the Wilson special. The changeup. 2-2 delivery. Executed perfectly. Wilson clutches up. 1-0. No room to breathe. 1-2-3 sets the Phillies down. 34 out of 41 as Wilson continues to roll. Marlins are back to single digits within 500 at 59 and 68. See, we got some new viewers here on Ladder of Light Gaming. You came just in time. Jackson Wilson right now is on the top of his game here on GOAT difficulty. The Marlins closer making it look easy. We're in Season 5, 1 away from matching our career best in saves, and obviously 2 away from a record. I think we can break that. We still got the month of September ahead of us. As long as we don't have a season-ending injury, we're home free. Marlins take 2 out of 3 against Philadelphia, and now they get ready for a home set against the Washington Nationals. Look how much break we got on that four-seam fastball now. 3-run lead for the Fish. Originally, this was a non-save situation entering the 9th, but because the Nationals put 1 up and cut this to 3, the Marlins will call upon Jackson Wilson, who has a chance to reach 35 saves for a 3rd consecutive season. Although he's still young, Jackson Wilson is already proving himself as a Miami Marlin great in the making. He's now over 150 saves for his career. And as we work our way through our 4th full season, we're trying to match our career high with 35 saves. Got a 3-run lead here in the bottom of the order for the Nationals, but Wilson falls behind 2-0 to Harry Ford. He's going to be looking fastball, and Wilson's going to give it to him. The pitch. Ford swinging away. I thought he'd be taking, to be honest. With us leading by 3 and the Nationals needing base runners, expecting a more patient approach, but no matter. We're able to set him down to begin this 9th. A low throw, but Matt Olson is basically a vacuum over there on the first base bag. 1 down in the 9th. Robert Hassel III, who is 2 for 3 with 2 doubles. He'll look to spark a rally for the Nationals, who are down to their final 2 outs, down 3. That's on the ground to first base. Olson will take it himself, 2 away. Great work by Jackson Wilson. 1 out away from a career-high 35th save. Noelvi Marte, the last man standing in his way. First pitch slider from Wilson. Here it comes, and it's a beauty over the inside corner. The umpire didn't give Wilson the strike call. But we're going to take a look just in case, and lo and behold, that clipped the inside corner for strike 1. Great pitch by Jackson Wilson. The 0-1 delivery, here it comes. Strike 2 over the outside corner. We're going to give it him that same location, but on the slider. 0-2 delivery. Oh my gosh. Challenge. The call stands. So close to a game-ending strike call. The Marte stays alive. The 1-2 pitch. Got him on the breaking ball. And for the 3rd consecutive season, Jackson Wilson has 35 saves. And now he can reach 36 for the first time ever. We're responding to adversity once again, guys. Got roughed up a little bit coming out of the All-Star break. I was calling it the All-Star hangover, but we're holding our own as we've done our whole career. When we get knocked down, Jesus picks us back up. And now here comes Wilson for another appearance against Washington. A chance potentially for Wilson to pick up not only his 152nd save of his career, but reach 36 saves in a single season for the first time ever. Wilson's gotten 35 in each of the last 3 campaigns. And now he can advance into uncharted territory. Another 3-run lead against his division rival, the Washington Nationals. The task is simple: shut the door and celebrate a new personal record. Here Jackson Wilson. First pitch swinging is Eugene Gund. It's at foul and out of play. Strike 1. The 0-1 from Wilson on the way. That's grounded to second. Wilson continuing to pitch to contact, and his defense is doing the job. One down in the ninth. Marlin pitchers working on yet another shutout. They just had one recently in Philadelphia. Now they're looking to do it against another division rival, Washington. There's that slider from Jackson Wilson, but it's grounded up the middle for a one-out single by Will Rolls. Tying run is now in the on-deck circle for the Nats. Wilson elects to go breaking ball, and that is fouled away. Gonzalez needs to reach, get the tying run to the dish. The 0-1 from Wilson. Ripped, and that's through the right side. So there's life for the Nationals here in the ninth. 2 on with only 1 out against Jackson Wilson, who has otherwise been rolling here on this mound. Now Robert Hassel III in the dirt, ball 1. No advancement from the runners. 1-0 from Jackson Wilson. Now the 1-0. That's a strike. 1-1 to Hassel, who has generally struggled in this spot. 171 with runners in scoring position, but Wilson's ahead of him. 1-2. Going to keep everything low here. Wilson has done so well under pressure, trying to continue that trend, and he does! The job is not yet finished, but that is a big second out for the Marlin All-Star. Wilson, calm, cool, and collected under pressure as he retires Hassel. And now it's up to Noelvi Marte, who will come off the bench and pinch hit. That's hit in the air to right, and it's down for a hit. However, the Nationals don't have any speed at third, but they're going to send him anyway. What are they doing? We'll take it. I'm not complaining. I don't know what Washington's thinking. Losing the game by 3. That's the wrong time to be aggressive. The Marlins not only sweep the Nationals, but thanks to that defensive web gem, Jackson Wilson has now surpassed his career high in single-season saves with 36. And the Marlins continuing to show a lot of fight. 7 games under 500 at 62 and 69. That was much needed, ladies and gentlemen. Much needed. There's our goal. Get 35 saves or better. All right, let's keep pushing forward, guys. Another 3-run lead. Game 1 of this interleague series with Boston. Marlins trying to hang the Sox out to dry and extend this winning streak further. Here comes Jackson Wilson, who gave up 3 hits in his last outing, but no runs because he had some help from his defense. This time, Wilson looking to be a little bit more effective and continue his dominant all-star season. Wilson enters this game with a career high in single-season saves at 36. He's 36 for 43 overall, and he can now make it 37 for 44 as he deals with the heart of the order for the Boston Red Sox. Beginning with Matt Wallner. Fastball taken for a strike. Letter high, 1-0. Now the next pitch. Lifted in the air to shallow left. Wilson executes the changeup. 1 down. I know I've said this so many times, but I just love these throwback jerseys from the Marlins. It reminds you of the original Florida Marlins. Won 2 world championships back in the late 90s and early 2000s. That's ripped foul off the bat of Rafaela. Strike 1. We almost had a World Series matchup in 2003 between these two organizations. Unfortunately, the Red Sox couldn't hold a 5-run lead in Game 7 at Yankee Stadium. Yankees went on to the World Series and, of course, lost to the Marlins in 6 games. It's tap foul as Wilson tried to put away Rafaela with that breaking pitch. Now he's going to go with the smoke. Tighten it up inside. 0-2 pitch. That's fouled away. We're going to do it again, this time with a cutter. Wilson to Rafaela. Got him! Strike 3. You didn't think I was going to climb the ladder again, did you? Rafaela didn't think that Wilson would go to that pitch again. He thought he'd be intimidated by that loud foul ball, but with a 3-run lead, Wilson showing absolutely no fear. On the ground, right side, but that's going to trickle through and keep the game alive for the Red Sox with 2 down. Marlins leading 5-2. Liam Hicks trying to pump up his dugout. Now Wilson deals to Sean Murphy. There's a strike. Slider over the outside edge. Murphy hitless today. He's 0 for 3. He flied out back in the second. He's also grounded out twice. He's now grounded out 3 times. He grounds into a force play to end it for the Marlins. 37 saves, a career high for Jackson Wilson as he continues to stand tall as the month of September approaches. The Marlins have now won 4 straight. They took 2 out of 3 in Philly, and they're 4-0 so far in this homestand. They swept the Nationals, and now they beat the Boston Red Sox. What a turnaround for Jackson Wilson after a rough start to this month. Continues to sink that ERA. It's down to 4.18. And that'll take us to the end of this interleague set. If we still have some viewers here, welcome to Ladder of Light Gaming. This is Jackson Wilson bringing you some raw, uncut gameplay of MLB 26 Road to the Show on GOAT difficulty. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget, Jesus Christ loves you guys. Give your life to Him if you haven't already. He's the way, the truth, and the life. No one goes to a better place or comes to the Father when they die except through Him. So repent. Turn from you guys' sins or perish. Turn to Christ and you don't have to worry about it. The kingdom of heaven is at hand. Ah, crap. I think we just lost this series. The Nationals. And we're back to 10 games under 500. It's definitely frustrating considering that we've gotten close to 500 so many times. We just can't get over that next hurdle. I think that's proof in the pudding that this team just isn't on that level yet. We are a lot better than we were in the previous years. We still got a lot of work to do if we're going to be a postseason contender. Wilson trying to get the Marlins back to within single digits of 500 as he pitches in an on-save situation at Nationals Park. Here's a strike to Kalen Culpepper as Wilson starts him out with an off-speed pitch. Now here comes a breaking ball. A beauty for strike 2. Now the smoke. 0-2 pitch. Inside to Culpepper, 1-2. Jackson Wilson represented the Miami Marlins this year in the All-Star game. And he continues his dominance here in the second half. That's hit in the air to right field, and that's going to drop for a single. So if the Nationals want to pull off a miracle, this is how you start it. Base runners, whether it's a walk or a hit. In this case, it's a leadoff single for Culpepper, and now Ezekiel Duran. He's 2 for 3 with a pair of singles and a couple of runs scored. Wilson trying to prevent any rallies here for Washington. There's that sinking changeup that has Duran off balance for strike 2. Now Wilson's going to like to go with the slider. Loves to go to this pitch against right-handed batters, and you can see why. Even though Duran made contact, he was way off balance. Now here comes another Uncle Charlie, the 0-2 from Wilson. On the ground to third, and that fire is put out. Thank you very much. Great job by the Marlins infield. 5-4-3 is the scoring. What can I say? We've done it again. Continuing to execute pitches. Even when we are hit with some adversity, doesn't matter. It's part of our agenda, resiliency. That's what it's all about here on Ladder of Light Gaming. We play on the hardest difficulties. We conquer challenges because of what Jesus has done and continues to do through me. There's strike 2 to Will Scadam. Nationals down by 5. Dangling from a cliff. Wilson trying to stomp him off. The 0-2. He does! Swing and a miss. Leadoff single. Wilson wipes out the rally with a double play. And then he completely embarrasses the final hitter for Washington on 3 pitches. And the Marlins avoid a sweep. They get a statement victory here today, a final of 11-6. When in doubt, hand the ball to Wilson. He'll finish it for you. That's been the case more often than not. Oh, wow, this series isn't over. Looked like it was a 3-gamer, but it looks like we got a chance at a split. Well, like I said, you want a chance for a split? Give me the ball. I'm confident I can do it. Wilson's already set a new career high in saves for a single season with 37. He'll try to get the final 4 outs of this one and make it 38. The pitch on the way. That's ripped down the left field line, but that is not going to do it. It's off the wall. Tying run scores. The go-ahead run trots into third. So Wilson will have the blown save. That run, however, will not be charged to him. Will Scadam didn't care if that was a slider. He was ready to hit. Now we have a new ball game here in our nation's capital. 4-4 in the bottom of the 8th. The pitch on the way from Jackson Wilson. Fastball is fouled off by Eugene Gund. The next pitch. A little bit low, 1-1 from Jackson Wilson. He gave up a game-tying double in the bottom of this 8th. Now he's trying to prevent the Nationals from taking the lead. Breaking ball down below the knees. It's 2-1 to Eugene Gund. 2-1 pitch. 3-1. And now the catcher will motion out to Wilson. Telling him to calm down a little bit. Wilson elects to go cutter right here. That's fouled off and a full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Wilson trying to send us to the 9th. The pitch to Eugene Gund. Just a bit low, and that'll load the bases. Now Caleb Lamavita. The Nationals have tied the game. Now they have a chance to break it open. First pitch to Lamavita. Outside ball 1. Wilson went with a slider instead of the fastball and the changeup. But these National hitters aren't buying it. Now the 1-0. Downstairs, 2-0 to Lamavita. So Wilson all of a sudden is having some command issues here in the bottom of this 8th. But we're still going to take the risk. We're going to go breaking ball. And that is grounded foul. He was looking fastball. He was way out in front of it. Let's give him that pitch again. 2-1. 3 balls and a strike. Now all the pressure's on Jackson Wilson. Nowhere to put anybody. The 3-1 to Lamavita is inside and a bases loaded walk. The second free pass of the inning for Jackson Wilson, and the Nationals have the lead. That right there is unacceptable. I can't believe it. I was aiming right down the middle. The timing was still decent, but it still made me throw it inside. That's a big-time bummer. Now I'm not only going to blow the save, but I'm probably going to lose the game. But again, that run was not charged to Wilson. No earned runs allowed in this game, but Wilson blew the save. I thankfully didn't take the loss, but I'll still take the blame because the reality is I had a chance at a 4-out save, didn't quite do it. But all that matters really is none of those runs were charged to me. So I kind of had my back against the wall to begin with. Pitching with a 1-run lead is not fun, especially when you got multiple guys on base on GOAT difficulty. All right, here we are. We've reached the month of September, the final stretch of Jackson Wilson's 4th full year in the major leagues. It's 2031. As far as playoffs go, it's not looking good for us. We're 10 games under 500. But look at this. 6 runs in the top of the 9th inning. Boy, this would be a memorable comeback win if we can cap this off. The Royals entered the 8th inning leading 9-3, and they gave up 1 in the 8th and 6 in the 9th. My goodness. So here is Wilson. The comeback is all for nothing if he can't do his job. He will be up against Lazaro Montes. 1 for 4 with a home run. One swing is all it's going to take for the Royals to tie this game. First pitch from Jackson Wilson is a cutter at the knees for strike one. 5, 6, and 7 hitters for the Royals, who are in danger of losing after squandering a 9-3 lead in the last 2 innings. That's grounded to first but foul. Strike two to Lazaro Montez. Here comes an 0-2 breaking ball from Wilson, and he stays alive. Still 0-2 to Montez. The pitch by Wilson. Got him! Strike three! Montez wants the umpire to take another look. But the call was correct. It clipped the inside corner. Not today, son. Take a seat. 2 outs away from one of the most memorable comeback wins in Marlins history. The Royals, which led 9-3 entering the 8th, now down to their final 2 outs, down by 1. But that's going to sneak through for a Casey Schmidt base hit. The tying run is aboard for Kansas City. Winning run coming to the plate, Oliver Dunn. He's also went deep tonight. Wilson will challenge him. The pitch.
That's a ball.
Taken low for a ball. 1-0 to Oliver Dunn. A double play ends the game. The pitch by Wilson. Tap foul at the plate, 1-1 to Dunn. The Blue Jays scoring 17 runs and beating the Guardians. We also have a shootout here today between the Marlins and the Royals, 10-9. That changeup misses. It's 2-1 from Jackson Wilson. Big pitch coming here to Oliver Dunn. It's grounded to third. Guess what, folks? We've been through this before. It's a double play to end the ball game. Jackson Wilson going low in the zone, painting that corner perfectly. Dunn hit it hard, but he caught it off the end of the bat. And Jackson Wilson wins this battle and completes one of the best comeback wins in the history of the Marlins franchise. The Marlins down 9-3 with 6 outs to go. They put up 1 in the 8th and 6 in the 9th, and Wilson slams the door on the Royals in the bottom of the frame. And to make matters worse, the Royals belted out 19 hits just to take a loss. It's pretty crazy. Watch us still lose the series. We're getting back to the trend of losing 2 out of 3. Oh, wow. We won 2 out of 3. We're going to have to win every series from here on out if we're going to make the playoffs. As a matter of fact, we may have to win out because we've only got, let's see, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. Yeah, we only got 21 games left. And the best we can do, even with that, is 87 wins. And even that might not still be enough to make the playoffs. So we're going to have to really clutch up. But as I say that, we're about to get swept at home by the Cubs. Well, I think it's safe to say we can kiss the playoffs farewell once again. We did show some improvement this year, especially on Wilson's part. But there's a lot of work still to be done for this rebuilding organization. Cubs leading 5-4. Wilson trying to keep the Marlins right here within striking distance, as Florida's 3 outs away from being swept here in the month of September, with every game being so valuable down the final stretch. They can't afford to lose games at this clip. But Jackson Wilson is treating it like such. His team may be losing, but he still brought his A game. 3 pitches, and he buries the Cubs' leadoff hitter, Luke Franco. 1 away in the 9th.
Up next to the Cubs, the designated
Moises Ballesteros. He's 0 for 3 with a walk back in the first. He hasn't been on base since. He fouls away a Wilson fastball for strike 1. Wilson trying to end Ballesteros' hit streak at 12 games.
Ball, that's low.
It's taken down and away. Now, granted, Ballesteros could get another opportunity should he be set down in the Marlins' first extra innings. But we don't want that. We're trying to set him down and walk this off. That'll definitely help. Good stab by Matt Olson over at first. Jackson Wilson doing Jackson Wilson things, attacking the strike zone letting his defense do its thing. 2 outs. Here's Pete Crow Armstrong. Wilson continuing to work at a rapid pace. Strike one. After having some command issues against Washington, Wilson back to attack in that zone at full force. 1-1 the count to Pete Crow Armstrong. Wilson trying to twirl a perfect ninth. Give the Marlins an opportunity, trailing by just 1. Here's a little fly ball down the left field line by Pete Crow Armstrong. That's going to go foul. 1-2. Now the breaking ball coming from Wilson. And he gets him, strike 3. Pete Crow Armstrong looked completely foolish right there. He can't believe it as he's talking to himself on his way back to the dugout. Big hitters coming up for the Marlins. Trailing by just 1. Good work by Wilson, regardless. But say it ain't so. This is going to be the final nail in our coffin in terms of contending for the playoffs. The Marlins are swept at home by the Cubs in the first weekend of September. And as a team that was already below 500, needing to win out to stay alive, this did us in. There's no other way to slice it. Marlins are now 12 games under 500. Now, granted, we aren't in last place. That's an upgrade from last year. But the goal is to make the playoffs and contend for a World Series. Right now, we're just not doing it as an organization. But regardless of what happens the rest of the way, you cannot say enough about the improvement that Jackson Wilson made. Not only becoming an all-star, but setting a new career high in saves. He's got a lowest ERA, 3.98 for his career. Wilson's ERA was hovering between 5 through 7 first couple of years he was in the league. So that is a huge improvement. And of course, the whip is a lot lower. We got 50 strikeouts, 63 innings. We put in a lot of quality work. And also, we've been able to play healthy the entire season, unlike in 2030 where we had to be sidelined for the whole month of September with an injury. Look at that, guys. We just got swept at home. We went 0-6 against the Cubs and the Mets. Way to ball out with your season on the line, guys. I didn't even get in that last series. Man, oh man. You know it's bad when they don't even need me on the bump. And now we're losing this game and they're bringing me in? Coach, there really is no point. If it's not a safe situation, just leave me on the bench. I mean, we're out of the playoffs now. We're not going to October. I don't think we've won a game yet in the month of September. Actually, I take that back. I think our Royals series was the start of September, but even so, if it wasn't for that historic comeback when we were down by 6 runs and we somehow beat the Royals in the final 2 innings, we wouldn't even have a single win this month. Look at this, guys. I'm on the bump, but we're getting absolutely slaughtered. I mean, I'll try my best like usual, but there really is no point throwing me out there. But nevertheless, Jackson Wilson continues to do his thing, get batters out, either striking them out or initiating contact, which results in defense making plays. 1 out in the 9th inning, and here is Lau. 2 pitches and 2 outs for Jackson Wilson here. This could be one of the quickest outings of my career. I don't think I've ever thrown 3 pitches for 3 outs. Come on, Simpson, swing the bat. Let's tie a record. The pitch by Wilson. Nice, taking it. Strike 1. The 0-1 from Wilson. Swing and a miss. His team may be losing, but Wilson is pitching like he's got the lead or it's a tie game. Swinging a ground ball to third. Wilson sets the Dodgers down in order. Unfortunately, the Marlins trail by a slam. 9-5 as we head to the bottom of the 9th. We got a little rally going, but of course we lose the game. Gonna need a lot more base runners than that in that situation. Obviously, Wilson's super disappointed as his team continues to struggle.
call it confidence. I ride with the gang, you know we ain't playing and nobody's stopping us.
Sorry about that, guys. I had to take a little drink. Trying to stay refreshed. It's not always easy bringing you guys these live streams, especially these lengthier ones, but we do it for y'all. And most importantly, I do it for Jesus. If this is your first time watching, remember, Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through Him. It's time to take our walk with Him seriously. Repent. The kingdom of heaven is at hand, guys. I love you, but God loves you more. So much so, He came to the earth as Jesus and went to the cross and died for your sins so you could be forgiven and cleansed through His resurrection and victory over the grave. Death will not be able to hold you guys if you put your faith in Him. He's the reason I'm here today bringing you guys this message, and He's the reason I even have this channel to begin with. He is to be glorified and thanked in all circumstances. All right, folks, here's Jackson Wilson with an opportunity to bust the Marlins' 7-game losing streak. This is the 8th game of the homestand for the Marlins. Finally trying to get in the win column. First pitch from Wilson, looking to repeat his performance from yesterday. Strike one. He buried the Dodgers 1-2-3, set them down in order. And now he's quickly ahead of Jonathan Aranda, no balls and 2 strikes. Wilson trying for his 39th save, which is a career high. Aranda barely got a piece. 0-2 from Jackson Wilson. The kick and the pitch. Cutter jams him, but Aranda's able to stay alive. Another 0-2 delivery. Got him on the changeup. I tell you, Jackson Wilson is on an absolute heater these last couple of weeks. He's pitching the same way as he did the start of the season. He had an adverse stretch in late July and early August, but he got back into his all-star form quickly. And once that happened, it was a long, long day for his opponents on a nightly basis. 2 quick outs here in the 9th inning for the Marlins. We're leading the Los Angeles Dodgers 8-5. Fish are trying to end a 7-game losing streak. And these fans are more than ready to celebrate. Ball 1 inside from Jackson Wilson. Just think, guys, 2 saves away from the 40 mark. We'd be halfway there if we can get one more out here. It's 2-0 to Junior Caminero, as Wilson missed with 2 close pitches around the plate. 2-0. Aggressively attacking his Caminero. He'll foul it away. It's 2-1. Wilson kicks and delivers. Breaking ball, 2-2. Wilson 1 strike away. The pitch. Lifted in the air down the right field line. That's going to go foul. 100 miles per hour out of the hand of Jackson Wilson. And then he takes something off that slider and completely embarrasses the opposition once again. 39 saves for Jackson Wilson, and the streak is finally over for Miami. The Marlins, in the last game of this homestand, are able to salvage a game. They got swept by the Cubs. They got swept by the Mets. Dropped the first 2 against the Dodgers. But thankfully, Jackson Wilson had the sauce today. And the offense had plenty in the tank as well. 8 runs on 11 hits. That's a winner, folks. As they would say all the time in St. Louis. The words of the great Jack Buck. I think my ERA is back to where it was heading into the All-Star break. So Wilson's definitely finishing the year strong. And lo and behold, this is the team that Wilson just has not been able to beat, the Arizona Diamondbacks. You guys have been watching my series, especially from the very beginning. You'll know how much the D-backs have had my number. But Wilson is trying to clutch up here and deliver for the Marlins in what has been another great comeback effort. The Marlins scored 6 runs in the top of the 8th to take a 9-7 lead. And now here is Wilson pitching with 2 on and 2 out. here in the bottom of the 8th at Arizona. George Valera representing the go-ahead run. Wilson trying to prevent him from doing anything and send us to the ninth. Swing and a miss on a 99-mile-an-hour fastball. Here's the disappearing changeup. Ground ball to short. Wilson clutches up in the 8th. Strands 2 on base. Sends this game to the ninth with the Marlins leading by 2, 9-7. And all right, that could be a big insurance run, considering how much ninth inning magic the Diamondbacks have had over the last couple of years against Wilson. Here's Shea Langoliers to lead off, and he's taking all the way for a strike. Langoliers, even though he's a triple shy of the cycle, he's just looking to get on base. However, he has to do it. But Wilson is quickly ahead of him. No balls and 2 strikes. Langoliers wants the umpire to take another look at that pitch. And that was a little bit low. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 to Langoliers. We're going to tap foul, 1-2. Here comes that slider again. The pitch by Wilson. Got him! Strike 3! These hitters are just having a tough time laying off it. I tried to warn you guys, once Wilson gets more good stuff, these pitches are going to become super effective. And right now, even the Diamondbacks are looking foolish. You know Wilson is dominating on a different level when Arizona is looking bad. But as I say that, Otto Kemp just took me deep for a home run. No matter, we still got the lead. Wilson finally gives up a tally. I think that's the first earned run I've given up in quite a while. I don't care. We're going right after Wayne Thomas. Ground ball foul, strike 1. So it's now 10-8 Miami. As the Diamondbacks, as they usually do, not going down without a fight against Wilson. That was a strike, by the way. Come on, man. You guys want a challenge? I'll hit you with your own medicine. 0-2 to Lane Thomas. So a strikeout to begin the inning, and then a solo home run. And now a ground ball to first. Good sliding stop by Olsen. 2 down here in the Arizona ninth. Can Wilson finally save the game against the Diamondbacks? Luis Rengifo, who has had his fair share of clutch hits against Wilson over the years, stands in. Changeup grounded to short. And the Serpents are finally trampled under the foot of Wilson. As a follower of Jesus, I may lose some battles, but I'm going to keep battling until the Devil's Serpent is finished. Congratulations to Jackson Wilson. For the first time in his career, he has 40 saves in a single season. 40 for 48 overall. And he finally locks up a victory against the Arizona Diamondbacks. Great way to go out against that team. The Diamondbacks, when I tell you they've given me fits and they've had my number, I mean it. That's an understatement. I've probably blown a save in like 6 different times against Arizona in my career. But that's just the way it goes sometimes. My save percentage is still like 80%, which is great. I mean, I was going to get knocked down. I mean, we knew that was going to happen. I mean, it's the major leagues, number 1. But 2, it's GOAT difficulty. It feels like the real thing. That's why I play on the hardest modes. Okay, the Marlins continuing to gimp toward the finish. But they do have a chance at a victory today against another hapless team, the San Diego Padres. Here comes Jackson Wilson, who just reached 40 saves for the first time in his career. He's thrown 66 innings in 67 outings. And he'll look to keep racking up the saves. His team leading the Padres 3-2 in the bottom of the ninth at San Diego. We've reached the final stretch of Wilson's 4th full season as a major leaguer. His 5th overall. 2031 is coming to a close. We should have a few more appearances, and that'll be it. as the Marlins have been eliminated from playoff contention.
That's the ball. That's
One
down.
ball and one strike. Wilson started out with one in the zone and then barely missed low and in with that changeup. 1-1 to Xander Bogaerts. Breaking ball swung on and missed. 2 weeks left in the season. The Marlins showed a lot of improvement in the middle stretch. They started to go on a winning pace that would have got them potentially a wild card spot if they would have maintained that pace throughout the remaining 3 months. Of course, that didn't happen, and the Marlins fell off pretty quickly, especially once the month of September hit. They had a devastating 1-8 homestand, and that's what did them in. Speaking of doing them in, the Padres are looking to do the Marlins in right here. There's back-to-back singles to begin the bottom of this 9th inning against Jackson Wilson, who entered this game with a 3-2 lead, but he's in danger of losing it with Jace Bowen coming to the plate. First pitch from Wilson. Slider outside 1-0. Bowen settles in. The pitch by Wilson. Fastball fouled away, 1-1. We need him to roll over something. 1-1. Strike 2 to Jace Bowen. We're going to go slider off the plate. Big spot in this game. 2 on, nobody out. Marlins only leading by 1. But Wilson gets a big strikeout of Jace Bowen, who looks out to him nodding out of respect. Game recognizes game, and that's exactly what Bowen did in that at bat against Wilson. And now a strike over the outside corner on that changeup to Jefferson Rojas. Way to bounce back if you're Jackson Wilson. He's far from out of the woods, but he is rolling. He's throwing those strikes with confidence. Fools Rojas with 2 changeups. Now we're going to go low and in with the breaking ball. The delivery. Back-to-back strikeouts. 2 away in the 9th. And now it comes down to Cole Myers, the Padres' hottest hitter in tonight's game. 3 for 3 with a triple, 2 doubles, and 2 runs scored. Wilson's going to go right after him. The pitch. Cutter misses in 1-0. It is worth mentioning that Myers has struggled with runners in scoring position. Trying to clutch up right here with 2 aboard. That's outside 2-0. Chance of let's go Padres as this sellout crowd here at Petco Park rises to its feet. 2-0 from Wilson.
Ball. That's up.
Missed a little bit high, and it's 3-0. Wilson's going to challenge just for good measure. And that missed by about an inch. 3-0. Will they turn Myers loose? No, he's taking all the way. 3 balls and a strike. Wilson pitches. Tap foul. Danielle, it's good to have you back. Yep, we're still playing. We're winning at the moment, 3-2. 1 strike away from closing it out. Come on, I got to execute this changeup. Ah, he fouled it off. Still a full count to Cole Myers. Here we go. We're going to climb the ladder at the cutter. The pitch. Ripped down the right field line, and it's going to drop. The game is tied, and not only that, the Padres are going to win it. Good pitch by Wilson, but when it's your night, it's your night. And that was the case for Myers. That changeup or cutter, rather, was in on his hands, and he delivered. See, look where that pitch was. He didn't even get that on the barrel. A heartbreaking loss tonight for the Marlins. Wilson is the loser, and he's handed his 9th blown save. So the Padres finally get some redemption after Wilson had their number pretty much the last 2 years. At this point, it no longer really matters. I mean, I want to finish the season as best as I can, but whether we win or lose, The games are pointless. We're not making the playoffs. So Wilson gets 2 strikeouts, but unfortunately he also gave up 2 runs on 3 hits. Chance at some redemption here, though, as Wilson loosens up for his 285th appearance. I can't believe I've already been in the league that long. Pretty crazy if you ask me. Vance Honeycutt, first up for the San Diego Padres in the bottom of the 10th, with the Marlins leading 2-0. The pitch by Jackson Wilson is ripped in the air to right by Honeycutt, and that's going to plug the gap. Honeycutt digs for second. 1 run scores. And now we're into a regular extra inning situation, with this being a 1-run lead and a runner at second, nobody out. Wilson aggressively challenged Honeycutt with that cutter. But this is all of a sudden turning into another adverse series for Wilson here. 2-1 Marlins, bottom of the 10th. Runner at second, nobody out, following Vance Honeycutt's RBI double. Strike 1 on the upper corner to Andrew Fisher. Wilson kicks and delivers. Grounded, foul. 0-2. He deals. Breaking ball down and in. What a season it's been for Jackson Wilson. His team may be missing the playoffs yet again, but Wilson with a career-high 40 saves, made the All-Star team for the first time. And now he's looking to finish as strong as he possibly can, as he looks to build on his save total. We enter the final 2 weeks of the season. Swing and a miss, a strikeout of Andrew Fisher, as that high leverage cutter turned out to be a little too overwhelming for the Padre left-hander to handle. 1 down, and now Wilson will give out the intentional walk. Because you know what's been common with us? Initiating game-ending double plays. I'm confident we can do it again. Here's Xander Bogaerts. Going to go change up down in the zone. Little tapper. That's going to go foul, strike 1. So after the Padres rallied to beat Wilson yesterday, Wilson looking for a little payback. That's a strike. Get ready to reverse that call. 0-2 to Xander Bogaerts. Wilson has his sign. There goes slider off the plate. Here it comes. Bogaerts lays off it. 2-on with 1 out. 2-1 Miami over the Padres. The bottom of the 10th. The pitch. Bogaerts ground ball to third. Told y'all, we do these intentional walks for a reason. Because the Marlins are one of the best teams in the league in turning the double play, especially late in ball games. The Padres take the series, but the Marlins get the last laugh, because you know what? Both of us are going to be sitting on the couch 2 weeks from now. So, haha. Why am I laughing? Our team stinks. Both of us stink. San Diego and Miami, better luck next year. But it was great for Wilson to get a little payback once again. 41 saves. Not bad for a non-playoff team. All right, we got a road series in Chicago, and then we close it out at home against Atlanta. And Jackson Wilson's going to get at least 1 more appearance in front of these great home fans. It's Fan Appreciation Weekend here on MLB 26 The Show. Jackson Wilson reminiscing on making it through 4 full seasons in the MLB without getting demoted. He maintained his spot this whole time. And he is now officially an all-star. 41 out of 50 in save chances this year with a 4.08 earned run average. Got a chance to make it 42 right here. The Marlins leading the Atlanta Braves 3-0. Jackson Wilson with the best season of his career. And this is the final series here in 2031. Game 1 of 3. And there's a strike from Jackson Wilson. The Marlins trying to start out Fan Appreciation Weekend on a winning note. 1-1 the count to Bryce Terang. Now a 1-1 pitch. Slider, ripped foul. Terang settles back into the box. Here comes some more high cheese from Wilson. Jammed him. Fly ball into center. Center fielder near the track will haul it in. 1 down. Good job by Canarella. Gunnar Henderson. 0 for 2 with a walk and a stolen base. The pitch by Jackson Wilson. Hit in the air to left. Left fielder didn't even have to move. 2 down. I'll tell you what, guys. For playing on GOAT difficulty, and for us not being the highest overall, I think being near 160 saves and having 41, a career high for a single year, I think that's pretty solid. We get one more out here, we got 42. Jackson Wilson clicking on all cylinders. If you take away that one outing when he blew a save against San Diego, he's been all gas, no brakes in the month of September. 1-2 to Austin Riley. Wilson ready from the stretch. Crowd ready to make some noise. The 1-2. He got him! When you're hot, and that's the case for Wilson. What a way to end his season if this was his final appearance. 42 saves and 51 chances. And the National League All-Star is pitching with all the confidence in the world right now. Or should I say, Godfidence. Because he's got Jesus Christ, who is God, as his Lord and Savior. And that's it, folks. The 2031 season is in the books. I can't believe it. We've already been in the major leagues for 4 full years. It's 5 seasons if you count 2027 when I was called up in mid-August. But regardless, it's been quite the journey, guys. Our career is kiting along. Unfortunately, we have yet to make the playoffs. I've been with the Marlins my whole career. But it's going to be the same old, same old. We're going to go back to the drawing board. See what we need to do to retool, reload, and keep getting better. Because eventually, you're going to want to experience the big stage. I mean, I'm appreciative of all the Marlins have done for me, but we got to show some improvement. Now, granted, we did do that out of due respect at certain points this year. But next year, we have to get like 500 or something, at least. If we're not a winning team next year, I'm probably going to think about testing free agent waters again. And what I mean by that is, if the Marlins want to sign me, they're going to have to be the only team offering me a contract. Because if I become a free agent and the Marlins offer me a contract, I'm probably going to turn it down if we don't get our foot in the door next year. Actually, I think I might be nearing the end of my contract this time around. So what I'll do, if that's the case, I'll ink one more short contract with them, and that's going to be it. If we can't improve after that, then that's going to be the end of an era for Wilson here in Miami. Congratulations to the Boston Red Sox, who knock off the Arizona Diamondbacks in this year's World Series. So our list of champions thus far, we had a three-peat for the Yankees. We had the Phillies win it all in 29. The Yankees got back out on top in 2030. And now their rivals, the Boston Red Sox, have another World Series trophy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's advance to the off season. I really don't care much for the retirement players. How about that? Mike Trout and Nolan Arenado, 2 players I grew up watching. They've made the Hall of Fame. Mike Trout definitely deserving as was Nolan Arenado. He had more gold gloves than you could count on two hands. Mike Trout, of course, was a great defender as well. Had injuries not derailed part of his career, man, Trout probably would have been up there with the greats and like Alex Rodriguez and Pujols in terms of home runs. He probably would have been flirting with 600 to 700. But 544 is still very daggum impressive if you're him. All right, back to yours truly. As you can see on the bottom of your screen, I now have 158 saves for my career, a 5.61 ERA. That lowered quite a bit after the All-Star season I just had, the improvement that we showed. 221 strikeouts. And we'll see if the Marlins offer me another contract. I think I am in a contract year. Oh, look at this. The Marlins didn't even offer me a contract. Oh my gosh. The Royals, the Rangers, and the Braves. I didn't get an offer from Miami. I thought for sure they would want me back. But I guess not. I tell you what, I don't want to go to the Royals. I don't want to go to the Rangers. The Braves are kind of tugging at me, but I don't know. I think the Braves are kind of going to be falling off because I noticed they have a lot of veterans. But we'll see what my other contract offers look like. All right, so the Braves withdrew their contract. Man, look at all these interested teams now. Telling you, once you become an all-star, you're definitely going to have your stock increasing. Yeah, it really is incredible how many offers I get. I tell you what, guys, I'm not going to spoil this for you. You're just going to have to watch the next broadcast to find out who I sign with. Will I be back with Miami? Will we work something out? Or will I be headed elsewhere? Who knows? Like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time for Season 5 of MLB 26 Road to the Show, starring yours truly, Action Jackson Wilson, closing pitcher on GOAT difficulty. May the peace that passes beyond all understanding and the unconditional love of Jesus Christ be yours today, in His holy and almighty name.